นเด็กมาคือเชียมานโกสรมบวตั้งแต่ปีโบราณวัดปะทองอาญาทอรุ่งเรืองกันกลางไม่รู้สกสารเมียนสึกเสรีไอ้เลยไม่เจ้าจันยุดเชียเปลี่ยนตึกเลยขมายตรงกายสร้างจันโรชีวีศึกสงครามครั้งกลับเป็นเลือดธรณีขมายรุ่งสามีกาเปียตึกเลยกัมพูชีไอ้กรีกบ้านเทียนตีตรงขมายบ้านสกเตียงอ้อมกรบอาตมาส่งประพุทธเอาปอสับสาทุกาสาธารณรถทำไมกรบกรองหายเลยได้ขมายคือเชียมหานโกสรมบวตั้งแต่ปีโบราณวัดปะทออาญาทอรุ่งเรืองกันกลางไม่รู้สกสารเมียนสึกเสรีไอ้เลยขมายเจ้าจันยุดเชียเปลี่ยนตึกเลยขมายกรบกายสร้างยันโปรชีวีศึกสงครามครั้งกลับเป็นเลือดธรณีขมายรุ่งสามีกาเปียวตึงเลยกัมพูชีไอ้กรีกบ้านเทียนตีตรงขมายบ้านสกเตียงอ้อมกรบอาตมาส่งประพุทธเอาโตสดสาธุกาสาธารณรถทำไมกรบกรองภายใน
យើងខ្ញុំប្រកាសណាសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំព្រះគុណជាម្ចាស់គ្រប់ព្រះអង្គជាទីសក្ការៈសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរអាយដាមសាស្ត្រាចារ្យបណ្ឌិតដាំឆាត់អរីអគ្គស្ថាបនិកអគ្គមេបញ្ជាការឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិជាទីគោរពដល់ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់និងសូមជម្រាបសួរបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងទូទាំងសកលលោកនេះជាកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីលើកទី27ថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានប្រធានបទស្អីអំពីបដិវត្តមិនមែនជាជំរើសទេយើងត្រូវតែធ្វើជាចាំបាច់មុននឹងអ្នកខ្ញុំចាប់ផ្ដើមជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសយើងខ្ញុំទស្សនៈស្ត្រីសូមជូនពរដល់បងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងសកលលោកក្នុងឱកាសបុណ្យភ្ជុំបិណ្ឌនេះសូមជូនអ្នកជូนផលកសលផលបុណ្យគ្រប់គ្នាសូមអរគុណGood evening and welcome back to Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint, our number 27 show. And now I would like to introduce our panelists this evening. Right now we have a special guest tonight this evening, Tevy. She is our special guest, but for her safety, we have to close the camera. And of course, we have Chhyna Chen and Mrs. Kalyan Nou. And my name is Chhovy, but I am your host tonight. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you, Mom. Good to be back.
Yes.
Absolutely, Mom. Thank you.
Yes. Our last show, number 26, covered the future of Khmer children under His Excellency Professor Dr. Raisi Dam leadership. Tonight's topic is probably our most exciting topic yet. And the title of tonight's show is Revolution is not an option, it is a must. បដិវត្តមិនមែនជាជំរើសទេគឺវាត្រូវតែចាំបាច់ Since our last show a lot had happened in 1 month this month alone on September the 9th Lok Pratien did a live show responding to Hun Sen's statement and last week September 17 made a pre-recorded response to Hun Sen. The last pre-recorded appearance by Lok Pratien was probably probably the strongest statement yet to Hun Sen and CPP top leaders. Before we start our show tonight, we will have a short video to share with our audience with brief information about how the world wealth was formulated and who controlling it. Lady, can you please turn off the camera? And Momani, please play the video. Thank you.
It's the same eye that you see on the back of the dollar bill, and it's even part of the Great Seal of the United States. No, not there. It's actually on the other side. That's right, the seal has two sides. But this symbol's meaning and creation actually has nothing to do with any of that.
Thank you, Bongmani. The video is very compelling, ladies. It shows who is in charge of the world wealth, and without a doubt, Lopatin is M1. This could not be any better than this because our country is in serious trouble. Our country needs His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam. The country economy has been serious trouble without economic plan for growth in the last 30 years. Our sovereignty, territorial integrity and viability, neutrality and national unity all in jeopardy. Our people are slowly annihilated. Our people are running off to find work in neighboring countries by the millions. And lately, the international community has been very alarmed about the Chinese military setting up military presence on Cambodian soil, which could lead to a similar war like Ukraine. Tonight, I am going to lead off with Khmoy Tevy first. What do you think of this video, Khmoy Tevy?
Thank you, Chhovy. As you know, I am always excited to be part of the great show, the SCKHK Khmer Ladies Viewpoint. I am very happy that I am part of history by being on the show, especially this show, the Ladies Viewpoint. I do not have much comment on the video, except that I know our country is in great danger by the day. We are the only country in the region that has the same leader in the last 40 years, and now his son is about to take over the power. This is not a democratic country, it is a family affair regime,
What do you mean by a family affair? Can you please elaborate for us, Khmoy Tevy?
Very, very dangerous. They treat the country just like their own family affair. Can you see? They own everything, they do anything they want to the country's natural resource. It perfectly fits the family affair word, keeping the power in their family and having Vietnamese and Chinese communists as their master.
Wow, I didn't expect this from you, dear Khmoy Tevy. Can you please hold your thought on this, and I will come back for you later. And now, on Kalyan, what are your thoughts on this video? Oh?
Yes, Bong. Thank you, Bong. First, I would like to welcome Khmoy Tevy back to our show. And I would like to bring one part of this video that is very compelling, Bong. As you said, Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam is M1. In the video, we saw the structure of how shadow world is governed. And M1 is in the center of the world body shadow government financial apparatus, Bong, which control all the major world body that runs the world. And this video is just a segment of a very deep world of the shadow government, which is known as the Committee of 300. And Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam is a permanent member, Bong. And as for Khmoy Tevy, you have grown, young lady. You are indeed the Tampang Snong Say of the Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. Yes, Khmoy Sray, the word family affair is correct. Lopatin have shared a few pictures this past Thursday of Hun Sein in New York. And Hun Sein post on his Facebook showing off his granddaughter, the Minister of Family Affairs, not the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Khmoy, it is their family affair for sure, Khmoy. And on my thoughts, about the video is very worrisome for our people. And before I share my thoughts, Bong, we need to look back at 1978, before the Vietnamese communist invasion took place. The world knew about the possible invasion. China stood by to see the invasion unfold on world television. And Khmer around the world stood by helplessly, watching our country being ransacked by the Vietnamese communists with the Soviet Union backing them. And our people ran toward the border for their lives. And after 29 years long, the world community came together under the flag of the United Nations to restore our sovereignty, territorial integrity, inviolability, neutrality, and national unity. But however, our country is still under the Vietnamese communist doctrine. And this is very sad and very sick. You know, this is all done by the evil Sihanu, you know, to preserve his monarchy regime and his throne at the expense of all the Kon Khmer and our nation's sovereignty. And right now, Hun Sen and his puppet master are fooling all Kon Khmer with the democracy rhetoric and governing with the iron fist of the communist style.
Thank you, On Kalyan. On Chhyna, what are your thoughts on? Can hear you, On. Can you turn on the microphone? Thank you.
Thank you, Mong. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, thank you, Mong Chhovy. Thank you, Mong Kalyan. After viewing the video, it reveals the treacherous situations in our country of Cambodia. I find it absolutely appalling. Plus, hearing what Tevy just said, she is on point, especially coming from an 11-year-old young lady. That extremely deep and mind-blowing when she stated the word family affair. It is quite astonishing coming from all, you know, the 11-year-old girl. Thank you, Mong Chhovy.
Thank you, On. You know what? This evil regime served its puppet master to annihilate all Kon Khmer. They're all doing it, you know, hiding behind this fake democracy.
You know, Bong, if I may, our country is in much more grave danger than ever. Over 3 years ago, all of us here joined this historical journey. And, you know, I did not realize how troubled we were as a nation, Bong. But, you know, thank you to Lokpatian, that means Savan and Lokbong Sorapek, you know, for enlightening and educating all of us here and all Kon Khmer around the globe about our dark history, Bong. You know, and for those who are still naive, hey, let them be, you know, because we must continue to focus on our mission of liberating our motherland, Bong. And you know what, ladies, revolution is not an option. It is a must be. And Bong, you know, what you have outlined at the beginning of the show is very accurate. If something is not done about it right now, we will no longer have Cambodia on the map and call her our home. And now it is obvious the danger is it's right in front of us, Bong. And we as Kon Khmer what we need to do is to open our eyes, and we can even see it with Braille. You know, it is very, very obvious, Bong.
Yes.
Well, Mong Kalyan, obviously quite upsetting. We don't need to take Braille course to see or understand what we are facing. We could feel darkness and smell the polluted air. Our country has been at the bottom of the list since the Vietnamese puppet Hun Sen became prime minister for about 40 years. 85% of our people make less than a cup of Starbucks coffee. As you can see, those who drink Starbucks coffee cost about $6 per cup. They have endlessly broken Kon Khmer physically and emotionally. They won't stop until they have completed their mission. Well, however, we all know that Cambodia runs by the incompetent leader. We will always be placed in the bottom if we don't put an end to this baloney traitor prime minister regime. Again, thank you, Tevy. You don't cease to amaze me on how you describe the Hun Sen's regime on the system and is run till the day family affair. That's the truth. I agree that we must change Cambodia from a family affair to the public system so that we are all equal and have true transparency. Tevy, I just wanted to commend you for your patriotism towards our country at such a young age. With your positive persona that you are, you will be the most valuable leader in the future government when you are of age. In addition to that, I truly believe that within the next 10 years or so, we will dedicate our lives by helping Cambodia to put an end to the family affair, because we trust His Excellency Dr. Ray Sidam will bring forward goodwill, great opportunities, and properties to Khmer, prosperity to Khmer land under the new Khmer Republic.
Okay, On Chhyna, we still in earlier part of our show. Please conserve your energy, okay?
No, absolutely. I will try.
Well, you know, Chhyna is our little sister, and she is our turbocharged and our defender, Bong.
I agree with that.
Well, you know what, Bong? We shouldn't even have to tolerate this foolishness when the Khmer Republic takes control. You know, don't you all think?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yes, yes. Okay, Khmoy Tevy, do you have anything to add to this, or Khmoy Sray?
Yes, Naveen. Every day I see our people suffering. It is too painful to see our nation gradually slipping in a dangerous zone. Inequality is a serious problem. My parents work so hard and they are having difficulty putting food on the table and clothing on our backs. 85% of the country is struggling more than us. Some families hardly have 3 meals per day, and the one person driving around the country with a Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, or Bentley on all the potholes on Phnom Penh streets. This is the direction our country is going now, Naming. The inequality is too big of a gap between the super rich and the poor. This is not good, Naming. I could hardly wait for Paoms, Dr. Raisidam, to come in to liberate our country.
Well, thank you, Tevy. Okay, let's get settled down. We can get going on with this. Our topic is revolution is not an option. It is must be. You know what? I want to know why it's not an option and why it is must be. Kalyan, can you share the fact on this one?
Bong, in the last 29 years, our country has not made any progress in the economy for the whole country, Bong, only for that 1% of the population. We are last in every sector in ASEAN and in the top 100 among the 193 countries member of the United Nations. But Cambodia is the leader in corruption in ASEAN. This current regime export all the illegal timbers to China. This current regime issued 238 licensed casino, for our small country, which is mostly owned by those Chinese mafia bong. And this current regime provides protection for human trafficking and money laundering for the Chinese mafia. This current regime does not care for our country's sovereignty by letting foreigners do whatever they want, to our country, to our people. This current regime does not care for our people or our beautiful culture, Bong, and it is too eager to adapt to foreign cultures. Then I feel that we are losing our dignity as a nation. Our people are slowly adapting to foreign cultures. And every day we can see it, that the Chinese and the Western cultures eroding into Khmer culture to becoming extinct, Bong.
Wow.
Mom Kalyan, may I add to what you just said earlier? Well, just recently there was a MOVE, a short acronym for Memorandum of Understanding. It is executed by puppet government and the Ministry of Education for the Cambodian Linguistic Department to teach with the Vietnamese as a foreign language at the university level in all provinces. This is ludicrous. They invade our land, brainwash Kon Khmer, they learn our culture and way of life, and they want all Kon Khmer to learn their language. We know pretty damn well that their motive is to completely conquer Cambodia.
China, I must say, do not be alarmed. Vietnamese people are everywhere already, especially in the marketplace. The Vietnamese language is already being spoken widely without fear in the market and on our streets.
From what I told, the Vietnamese have no respect for the police or obey the law. This is from everyone that I spoke to in Cambodia, ladies.
Bong, the Vietnamese communists knows that Hun Sen is their puppet. Why should they be afraid of the police or the law, Bong?
Well, Bong, this has been proven that there was never a national sovereignty since Hun Sen's a prime minister of Cambodia. The high-ranking official of every ministry are of Vietnamese descent from Hanoi. To monitor their government runs the puppet prime minister Hun Sen and his crony. This was directed or instructed by the Vietnamese embassy in Phnom Penh.
Chhyna, this is a Khmer version of the deep state own. In Hun Sen's government.
Deep state? What do you mean on? Can you please clarify on Kalyan?
Sure, Bong, the so-called deep state always does the covert operation. As Chhyna said, the Vietnamese embassy in Phnom Penh runs the operation for Hanoi. Every ministry at the upper level, department level, especially in the finance department, is run by the Vietnamese origin official, Bong. And we have this confirmed with our informant in Cambodia.
What about our sovereignty? Do we still have it? what control does Hun Sen government have on?
I am very sad to say that our sovereignty does not exist in Cambodia right now. Why? Because, on the west side of the country, the Chinese Communist government took over the mass size of land with large project that was harmful to the country's national security, a development project that can house thousands of people without notice and have access to the large airport to support any size of aircrafts on the premises, and another controversial project in Riem, which alarmed the world community, was the demolishing of the United States funded structure to make room for the Chinese naval presence.
Well, Mount Kalyan, I totally agree with what you said. Sri Lanka is a good example on how politically China destroyed its structure and economy on their selfish development project, One Belt and One Road project. In other words, the Chinese Marshall Plan version, I hate to say that the Cambodia will have the same fate if His Excellency Dr. Ray Sidam doesn't put an end to these despicable plans of Hun Sen's in China.
What are the damage of the China One Belt, One Road project for Cambodia?
Well, China is correct. The One Belt, One Road is the alarming thing, and it is the destructive disease. And China has been destroying our country since Sihanouk became king in 1941. This no good king gave everything away just for his spy wife, Monique Easy, half Vietnamese and half Italian. The world know it, and this man has no dignity. He had gone Khmer killed by millions for his own benefit only. And back in 1949, he lost control of Kampuchea Krong to Yuan King Bao Dai of the 21 provinces with the, 69,250 kilometers square, and plus the 2 island bomb.
Oh.
You know what, Bong Kalyan, that is correct. And I can attest that, Bong. I was there in New York when Hun Sen and Norodom Sihanouk collaboratively celebrated the signing of the peace accord when the world community came together to restore sovereignty for Cambodia and in 1991. But you know what, sadly, at the end, he gave it all to his godson, Hun Sen. So nothing has been done, back to square one again.
Yeah.
Well, China, this no good king had the opportunity to correct everything that Heng Samrin and Hun Sen gave away to the Vietnamese communists just by declaring that the 1991 Cambodia-Paris Peace Accord would supersede all the agreement before 1991, which are the treaty that were signed in 1979, 1983, and 1985 on. This no good king will always be remembered as a traitor king.
Mm-hmm.
Hun Sen, 6 years later in 1999, joint venture with the Vietnamese communists and allows for regional economics development with the Vietnamese communists as the leader.
For 99 years agreement, Bong, the Khmer proverb to the Vietnamese puppets for allowing the Vietnamese to, this is what I always say, in our own homeland, meaning that we let them farm their rice in our own backyard without proper chain of command or rule of law. Again, I must say the incompetent king and prime minister are coward. It is very sad that the Vietnamese are able to do whatever they want and please. We know pretty well it is a pretext for the Indochina Federation and collaborating with the Vietnamese by using them as the governing body. Bong.
You know what, lady? This will not happen with Dr. Ray Sidam standing in front of this. They must get by Lo Patien first, and that will be impossible. The Vietnamese communists should be, thinking of their existence first or well-being from here on out.
Ladies, all of Ho Chi Minh's plan to form an Indochina Federation will end when the liberation of Cambodia takes place. All the illegal Vietnamese that are living in Cambodia will have to return to where they come from, and the land we lost in 1949 will be returned to us legally under all the legal rights that we have as the landowner. This is one of the reasons why revolution is a must. Ho Chi Minh's plan must be stopped, and Lo Patien is the only one who can stop this.
The Vietnamese Bong communists tried countless times in the last 800 years backdated in 1830 when they made Khmer ladies wear their traditional outfits, the long tunic dresses. I don't know if you ever seen that, but well, that wasn't successful. Now they're discreetly having a way of infiltrating in learning the Khmer way of life, culture, and language. I have to say they have done a remarkable job, because of the incompetent leader. They have Vietnamese descent King Norodom Sihanouk, Moni, and the Vietnamese puppet Hun Sen. Those are the two that in collaborating together, just putting all the Cambodian people into the ground again.
Thank you, Chhyna. Okay, how about Khmer Tevy? You've been quiet. What do you think about Ho Chi Minh, Khmer?
Yes, Nami. From what I know, the Vietnamese communists has one thing on their mind, which is to steal our land. Like Nami Chhyna said, this time they try something different. As Dr. Ray Sidam always said, first they break us, they divide us, they destroy us and conquer us. And now it seems that it is working very well because they have Mr. Hun Sen as their puppet.
I agree.
Wow, thank you, Khmer Tevy, for bringing up Lok Spatin saying to remind all of us here. Yes, the communists, they break us, they divide us, they destroyed us, and they conquer us. They come in illegally into our land. They break our family up by making us seek jobs in our neighboring countries by the million. And Thailand alone, they have over 2 million Khmer migrant workers over there right now. And some had gone there for 20 years and they never returned home.
Wow.
Well, the majority left home to seek jobs in Thailand or in South Korea due to financial hardship at home. When their farm products were not able to produce income, they were forced to find money by mortgaging their farmland to live.
Yes, Chhyna, the average outstanding loan is about $4,000 per family, which is about double the average they're earning per year.
On Kalyan, will this, farmer ever going to pay this debt on?
Well, they will be able to pay off the debts depending on their ability to make money from their harvest. Going to work in Thailand or to South Korea and sending money home will be very difficult to overcome. Sooner or later, the banks end up repossessing their farmland. And you know what? The worst part is most of the banks are owned by the Vietnamese communists.
Wow.
Of course, Bong, these banks are mostly owned by the Vietnamese communists and Hun Sen's cronies. This actually serves in their best interest so that they can own all Khmer properties and successfully take over Cambodia. It is statistically stated that at this point in time, over $3.3 million, which add up to a total of $8 billion on an outstanding loan balance the Cambodian government owes to various countries. Honestly, I don't think these poor farmers are able to pay these debts off due to high interest rate and loan collateral such as property, car, etc., etc. These unethical predatory lending practices from corrupted organization and government in Cambodia is nothing but putting a pressure on the borrowers. If they can't pay for their loans, the lenders will seize their properties. Their tactic is to silently kill Kon Khmer so that they can vanish to the face of the earth. Wow.
This Hun Sen has no interest in protecting the farmer. Hun Sen only protect, Oknya, which is tycoon, which we have, over right now is 1,070 Oknya, probably more now. And what is the fate of this Oknya? Can one of you lady share your thought?
Sure, well, I'll share that one. What I know of, the fate of those 1,070, a little bit over, plus is not too good after the New Khmer Republic takes over the country. Lok Patin wrote them a warning letters back in November 2021. And the letter was sent out three times to them via email. SCKHK will have a financial audit process of each OCNA and will be performed, and the legal action will be taken according to the new law of the new Khmer Republic, and their asset will be frozen until the audit is done. They will be prohibited from leaving the country due to no more passport.
I could imagine this would be happening, and we would, have a functional, normal society with equal opportunity for Kon Khmer, regardless of their financial class, because of this 1,070 Oknya did not earn an honest living under, this regime.
Well, how would they, Mom Chhovy? This horrific title cost them 500,000 US, and they got to make their money from, from it somewhere, fast and easy,
Chhyna, this is a license to rob our nation's natural resources. As we all have witnessed the Tamau Mountain in Takao province.
Yes.
What his name? That young Oknya, what his name? Lane Navatra.
Yes.
If I say his name right. He got rich overnight, and he is the person who looted the forest with the top official backing him up. That's the truth.
Okay, let's come back to our topic tonight. You ladies seem to be warming up fast here. And now that the Vietnamese communists has done, everything to poison us and break us, we know they are changing, they're approaching this time, which is slowly eroding into our society without us realizing it, ladies.
Bong, yes, our sovereignty, territorial integrity, inviolability, neutrality, and national unity are in jeopardy, as you said at the beginning of the show, Bong. The Chinese Communist Party is using us to gain a superiority in global presence at the our security expense, Bong. And on the other hand, our national unity is so broken, Bong. We don't even know who we are anymore. And the Vietnamese communists is enjoying it very much right now. Especially they are going to see the next puppet generation, Hun Manait, which he is going to take over the leadership and the power soon. But the most troublesome is on the horizon is the PLA, People Liberation Army, Chinese military present on Khmer soil. And all the countries in the region and the Quad Alliance will not allow this to happen, Bong. If Hun Sines continue to play this dangerous game, we will see a second kind like Ukraine and Russia war on Cambodia soil. We must understand that the free world has been committed to deterring communist presence in Southeast Asia since 1945 at the Yalta Conference, especially now that the Southeast Asia is an emerging market with the high potential to be the third largest world economy.
Kalyan, you mentioned Quad. What is the acronym Quad? But before you answer this question, we have another video to release of this question. Momini, please, and lady, please shut off the camera.
On September 15th, the US, the UK, and Australia announced the formation of a new security alliance, AUKUS. The most significant part of this partnership is that the UK and the US will help Australia build at least 8 nuclear-powered submarines.
But I would say that the United States has had a long and very consistent leadership role in the Pacific. We're both an Atlantic and a Pacific power. We have deep interests here, and we will continue to have deep interests. And I believe that we've got wide-ranging allies and partners throughout all of the Asia Pacific. If you look at South Korea, Japan, Australia, the Philippines, Thailand, and many, many other countries. I just came from a conference in Sydney where 27 countries of the Asia Pacific were meeting to discuss common issues of national security. So we have many, many allies and friends, and I think that we will continue to have many allies and friends throughout the region.
We have to do what is right for Australia and serve Australia's national security interests. And I will always choose Australia's national security interests first.
This means that the previous Indo-Pacific strategy has been fully upgraded with Australia, located at the southern end of the Pacific Ocean and between the US and China, becoming the strategic hub.
The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine. Without provocation, without justification, without necessity, this is a premeditated attack.
Thank you, Bong Mani, for the video. On Kalyan, if you can help us with this question, the acronym and August on.
Okay, Bong, thank you. The video said much of it already, Bong, but, I would try to put it into a layman terms as possible. As we all know that China has been the threat to the security of the Indo-Pacific ever since the formation of communist China back in 1949. To deter communist aggression, as planned in 1945 at the Convention in Yalta, the United States government formed an allied and partner in the region that many are calling the Quad, which is India, Japan, Australia, and United States. This is a diamond of democracy known by the top brass in the Pentagon. The Quad had much more than simply a defense or security arrangement. The Quad nation would have an interest in the global economy, critical technologies like the telecommunications and the 5G, and collaboration with the international order. And on September 15, 2021, the ally formed called AUKUS. AUKUS is a trilateral security pact between Australia, the United Kingdom, the United States. And they claim to help provide security for the Indo-Pacific region. Under the pact, the United States, the United Kingdom will help Australia to acquire nuclear power submarines. The pact will focus on military capability, separating from the Five Eyes intelligence, sharing alliance that include New Zealand and Canada, Bong.
Thank you, On. Oh, Chhyna.
Hi, Mom. I hope you don't mind if I wanted to interject something, Mom.
Sure.
The AUKUS PAC is the good old white boy club that will handle a top security sharing data within Five Eyes intelligence, especially when it comes to dealing with advanced cyber, artificial intelligence, and autonomy, quantum technologies, undersea capabilities, hypersonic and counter hypersonic, electronic warfare, innovation, and information sharing, Mom.
Ladies, the history of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance was formed in 1941 to gather intelligence before World War II. The Five Eyes intelligence are the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. And as for the Nine Eyes, right now, this intelligence organization has created two more subgroups since 1941, which is the Nine Eyes intelligence. That's include the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Denmark, France, the Netherlands, and Norway. And as for the 14 Eyes intelligence, it includes the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Denmark, France, the Netherlands, Norway, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Sweden, and Spain. In plain, this is a watchdog of the world. Nothing could be surpassing their monitoring. Again, this is the world of the global guardian apparatus that serves up the hierarchy, which was the Queen Elizabeth, and now now the son, King Charles III, as the leader of the shadow government and the Committee of 300, Bong. And this is why the Five Eyes intelligence is at the top of the apparatus. These five nations are the Commonwealth of Queen Elizabeth. And another thing is, as of June of this year, 2022, Japan is ready to join the 75-year-old Five Eyes intelligence as a member.
You are absolutely correct, Kalyan. I concurred. And there are 4 other countries that are just an intelligence alliance. These are Israel, Japan, South Korea, and Singapore. But just recently this year, the United States asked India and South Korea to join the alliance, but I'm not sure which level of the alliance they're in at the moment.
Well, thank you, Chhyna. Can you please share the responsibility of each alliance
Sure, Bong, yeah, sure. Let me start with the Five Eyes intelligence team that responsible in monitoring and collecting intelligence from China, Russia, Africa, the Middle East, and the Caribbean region. And as for Canada, they are responsible in monitoring and collecting intelligence from China, Russia, interior, and Latin America. And for the UK would be Europe, Western Russia, the Middle East, and Hong Kong. And for Australia would be South and East Asia. For New Zealand, it will be is responsible for South Pacific and Southeast Asia. Bong. And one more thing, as said back in 2014, Edward Snowden revealed that Singapore and South Korea are the two countries that provided intelligence access to the United States and Australia of the Five Eyes intelligence to their internet undersea telecommunications that links across Asia.
Wow, this is very big and deep. I am so speechless and to hear, that your lady just shared, that just said that a free world intelligent community is, ready to handle President Xi ambition plan. Wow.
Yeah, well, regardless, I am very 10 trillion%, which is Lupatin's credit line, 10 trillion, positive that President Xi ambitious plan will be spoiled by Lupatin wisdom and his crafted strategy. Lupatin is at the pinnacle of the everything that's right now. He has all the resources to bring down China, Bong. And I would like to say this out loud again. His Excellency Professor Dr. Racy Dam, not just bringing democracy to Cambodia, he will deter China from conquering the region and to avoid World War III, Bong. And ladies, I know it and I believe it in 10 trillion%.
Okay, thank you, Kalyan. Okay, what you just, lady, just share, what is the potential war that China would bring to Cambodian? This is scary.
This is most likely a potential war that will be happening soon. The Chinese leader, President Xi, is ambitious on his One Belt and One Road initiative, but on many factors, AUKUS might not allow China to succeed in their plans.
And you know what, ladies, this is Cold War too. You realize it or not. So far, China has been challenging the free world community ever since the start of the military buildup and the BRI, Belt Road Initiative. And if I am not mistaken, President Xi ambition started back in his first term, which was what, 2012? And you remember, ladies, the free world community owns all the apparatus and control the world's economy.
Interesting. What you just said. Thank you, Kalyan. Now on China, what else can you share with us on?
Well, Long, as I mentioned earlier on the factors, here it is. And I would like to point out, to those who would like to hear it. Number one, the Chinese economy is at the bottom of the economy for the first time since 1998. They are going to miss their projected mark. 2, 10 of their real estate developers aren't able to meet their bond payment. And then 3, in 100 cities, their people are protesting not to pay for their mortgages. This is a major problem for their economy, which they are encountering. And then 4, 70% of the population is tied to real estate sector. And then with these factors, it is a huge ordeal. There's no way that the Chinese Communist government will be able to pull through with this kind of problem they are currently facing.
Kalyan, what are your thoughts on this, On?
Well, you know what Chhyna just mentioned, it is very true, and anything could happen, Bong. War could break out if the free world community sees it as a threat to the region, Bong. Sri Lanka is a very good example. President Xi might gamble just to keep himself in power, and we should not take any chances, Bong. But I am sure that His Excellency Professor Dr. Racy Dam will not allow war on our soil. This is why Lupatin is working so hard, Bong, to bring in a revolution soon in a peaceful manner as possible.
Who will benefit from the war if it had happened?
War, will only bring destruction as always. And we have witnessed it in the last 50 years. And I'm sure we all do not want to see war, especially on our soil. Our people need to enjoy prosperity and the same as other nations in the region. It's 50 years suffering, but more than 50 years, but the last 50 years was worse. On the other hand, the Vietnamese communists will welcome the opportunity again to ensure their presence on our land again. The Vietnamese communists are warlord people, if you look back at history. And, they will come in by hundreds and thousands. And this time, they will never leave our land ever again,
Thank you, Kalyan. Okay, Khmui Tevy, what do you think if the war broke out, Khmui?
Yes, Nemi. As Nemi Kalyan said, war is not good for anyone except the Vietnamese communists. They love war and they benefit from war. We should avoid another war on our land if possible. I am sure that Paom has a way from avoiding war. He is a brilliant man, Nemi.
Thank you, Khmui Tevy, for your comment. It's very thoughtful of Khmui. Chhyna, what is your thought on this possible war that could break out on our soil?
Well, this war is a destruction to all human race, regardless of who started the war first. To save our humankind, it is best to avoid war and bring peace and unity to all humanity. In this case, the only person we can count on to liberate our motherland with thorough process without bloodshed is definitely Our Excellency, Dr. Ray Sedam.
You know what, ladies, with what is going on with the Hun's family and his cronies, it seems that they are very hard-nosed about this. And recently, Mr. Tiep Banh took a trip to China, and at his press conference after returning, he was very naive in commenting on the war game with the Chinese military that will be held this year. And to me, this regime is stuck into the cement without any options to get out of trouble. As you know, His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Sedam is bending the Chinese government to its knees, just a figure of speech, with evidence of their need to secure more AU gold by using the United States Treasury bond of $1 trillion or more in face value.
Okay, let me bring up one phrase that was used in, the question and answer live show on September the 10th, which is last week. The phrase was billion chul damray. Khmui Tevy, you may apply this in Khmer if you wish, Khmui.
Of course, Nami Chovy. I will try my best to do this in both language, Khmer and English. The phrase that Nami just said are very common Khmer phrase, referring to the battlefield of boxing rings. The first Dillian Cholambray Lokom Sarapik was referring to the battle of the two superpowers, referring to the United States and China as the two superpowers, Nami.
I agree with what Khmui Tevy just said is correct. Bong Chavi, China is a treacherous nation. China is a communist regime that has no regard for human rights and wants to destroy the free world. Cambodia is a neutral country, and we're supposed to be free and true democracy. To make matter worse, Hun Sen is a corrupt and dictatorial leader bringing war to Cambodia. He protects his family interests. He is a nonchalant when it comes to the innocent people in Cambodia. This is killing field all over again. Long.
Yeah.
Now, Chhyna, the World Community Intelligence with the Five Eyes Intelligence Report identified that Riem is the strategic naval base that China is seeking to have the control of the region on. Singapore and South Korea, as the arm of the intelligence gathering partners for the United States, have provided very compelling intelligence that if the Riem naval base completed their construction, China will be the hosting Navy force in Cambodia.
We know very well that the Quad and the August Alliance will not sit back and allow, this to happen.
I am certain of what you just said, Bong Chavi. As we all know, ASEAN will be a very powerful economy, and the Formosa Strait accommodates over 5.3 trillion USD of business cargo through this strait every year. This is a major win for China to control this kind of economy powerhouse. Not to mention, Taiwan is home to the most valuable technology of the semiconductor manufacturer, called the TSMC, which controls 80% of the today's nanotechnology.
Yes, that is true, Chhyna. We all have witnessed it, this on social media, posting that Hun Sen's government is very blind and naive, thinking that their master, the Vietnamese and the Chinese communists, will save them.
Now, let me make this more interesting here. Per Mr. Mark Smith, he's a major retirement U.S. Army. Hun Manet is not Hun Sen's biological son. This is from Mr. Smith quote. Lastly, I would like once again mention son of Mr. Hun Sen attending the United States Military Academy. First, this is not Hun Sen's son. This is Hun Sen's wife, son from her marriage to a Vietnamese. This gentleman, Mr. Mark Smith, he said this back in year, I believe, 1998. Is this why Hun Manet went to Hanoi to get his blessing from, his future boss, if he become like the next prime minister lady? You see that, right? You guys saw that?
Yeah, I saw the article, Bong. Mr. Mark Smith's statement got to be true, Bong. If not, Hun Sen's family would have filed a major defamation lawsuit against Mr. Smith already. What's more compelling was Lopatian's statement on September 17th, his message that we played last week. Per Hun Sen's older brother, Hun Sen, and his wife, I guess it's Jai Heng or Jai Heng or something, Hun Sen's brother's wife, Hun Sen's wife, Jai Heng, I guess, said that Manite is not Hun Sen's son, Bong. And if this is not an if, Bong, Hun Sen wants Hun Manite to be the next prime minister badly, Bong. And on July 28th of this year, the parliament had made the constitution amendment to make way for Hun Sen to transfer the power to Hun Manite. The proposed changes of Article 119 would eliminate the need of the assembly to approve the designated prime minister and would only require that he notify the assembly president to the designation. Additionally, the prime minister could appoint an acting prime minister in times or a temporary absence under the proposed change of the Article 125 of the Constitution. Now, this is another step towards preserving power within his family. And it is not going to happen it's not going to happen, ladies, regardless of, their planning.
Absolutely, yes.
Most definitely, Kalyan, regardless of what Hun Sen plans and strategies are, nothing will change His Excellency Dr. Rasidam from moving forward on the revolution. Lopatian doubled down on it again last week during the video, a message to Hun Sen. The specific op terms and the drone operations from the remote location can take Hun Sen and his son out in a blink of an eye. Exactly, just like the Iranian general or the missile that killed the Al-Qaeda leader on August the 2nd of this year. Like on August 22nd last month, this man has no clue what or who he is dealing with. Hun Sen's rhetoric did not direct us directly, but he said in that which implicated directly toward our Lopatian and Supreme Council Khmer for rescue. Hun Sen's power blinded him. He did not see his fate will unfold soon if he didn't comply or conform to the most influential person on this planet, which is His Excellency again, Dr. Rasidam.
Thank you, Owen.
Yes, Chhyna, Hun Sen's faith is hanging very thin right now. The Chinese are in dire strait. As said, President Xi needs big money infusion into their economy. Only Lopatian could solve their problem. all the world banks have turned down China's request for loans. This means China must comply with local demand to stay alive.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much, Kalyan. Before we get too much of this, area, we have another video to share with our audience. This is going to be our last video. Thank you, lady. Can you please close the camera? Momini, please. Thank you. Thank you, Bong Mani, for the video. On Kalyan, remember sometime earlier this year, Lok Pusarapich said something like, if we don't have Lok Patien, Cambodian would have another, like Ukraine already, like Ukraine war.
Yes, Bong, I do vaguely remember that Luk Bong Sarapik did say something in that sense, but I'm not sure the exact words. But you know what, I think what he was referring to is the presence of the Chinese military on Cambodian soil, that are support development in Kakong and Riem Naval Base, Bong. Just like what we saw in the video earlier, these two locations are being sought by the Chinese to install their military forces there. Again, the free world community will not allow the Chinese communists to use Cambodia as their military base. Bomb. The Formosa Strait is the sea land that passes through the South China Sea, and it is the busiest, the most critical maritime waterway in the world. The strait handle 1/3 of the global shipping with an estimated value of 5.3 trillion total. $5.3 trillion US dollars right now, and US alone is $1.2 trillion long. And this means that China will not be allowed to control the shipping corridor at all, and the presence of the Chinese military in Cambodia will only bring war, just like in Ukraine, Bong. And the Quad and the AUKUS will be ready to stop it at any cost. This is why revolution is not an option, but it is a must-be, Bong.
Thank you, On.
If China controls the region, it will control the future third largest economy. But anything could happen. We must realize the world is in the digital era now. Everything is running on digital technology with nanotechnology. And Taiwanese company TSMC, Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, has the latest and the greatest technology.
Yeah, this is correct. TSMC is the most demanding semiconductor maker that has 80% of the chip market.
Yes, you are correct, Bob. That is why the United States government is trying to find an alternative solution to control the chip industry. And recently, I believe Biden administration signed a bill to fund the chip and technology industry by $52 billion to strengthen their United States chip makers.
Thank you, lady. Okay, let me see. Our young political phenomenon has. Khmoy Tevy, what is your thought about this Chinese people coming to Cambodia, Khmoy?
Yes, Namin. Chinese mainland people are terrible for our country. As far as I see, the Chinese people have not done anything to help our society or our people earn a better living. They only take jobs away from our people any place they are able to, just like Kampong, for example.
Thank you, Khmoy Tevy. I want to clarify something that Kalyan mentioned, earlier that Pusarapich mentioned on August 13 during the SCKHK question and answer live show. It was regarding the UA gold and US Treasury bond. Who want to take this question, lady?
Well, Lok Patien has set up a trap in China 2 years ago. He is one brilliant individual I know. All his plans are meticulously thought out before he proceeds. I find that's remarkable. As we speak, he plans everything from the beginning of the rainbow to the end of the rainbow. That is why he has all the 9 alpha omega codes in his head. Bong Kalyan would have more knowledge to answer your question, Bong Chhovy, if you would like to know.
Thank you, Chhyna, for your effort. Okay, On Kalyan, please help us with this clarification, On.
Well, thank you, Chhyna, for letting me answering this. You are correct, Chhyna, about the trap. The Chinese did walk into Lok Patien's trap, and they had no other choice but to ask Lok Patien for help. This is a multi-level layer trap without no way out. Their problems get deeper and deeper as one process takes place after another. And I will try to explain to as simple as possible. When the Chinese bought the United States Treasury bonds, they intend to manipulate their currency value against the American dollar to keep their exporting competitive. For them willing to dump the United States bond for the AU gold, and especially from UNOITC, they must be very desperate by the Chinese government or desperate by President Xi. They said that they have 970 billion in reserve and 800 billion more at the end of the year to exchange for the AU gold. For a multi-level exchange like this, only Lo Patien could handle it due to his access to all the required agency with his 12 international treaties. When all the transactions are done, both the world and the superpowers will be subject to Lo Patien authority and control from there on out until the AU gold and the United States Treasury bond all no longer have value.
On what do you mean by subject to Lo Patien authority and control on?
Well, this is very simple, Bong, that all of us should know here. Our Lo Patien is going to be the debt holder of the United States Treasury bonds of $1 trillion or more. The Chinese will have the AU gold that needs to convert into cash, then to be placed in the Federal Reserve System. This requires Lo Patien authority again and again. And no one else could make this happen. Only one person on this planet is Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam, because it requires combined global collateral asset account. It requires the 9 code, the Alpha Omega, which is the 9 codes are in Lo Patien's head. It's required the Grandmaster commitment holder. It's required the Federal Reserve System level 5 license, and it requires the 12 international treaties. And Lo Patien, the one that has all that. This means that war in the region will not happen because Lo Patien will exercise all his power to bring peace and happiness to all Khmer Bong. And again, and I would like to repeat this again, revolution is not an option. It is a must-be to prevent war in the region, especially on our soil, Bong. And if there was war in the region, Cambodia would not exist anymore. Vietnamese will claim the East, and of course, Thailand will claim the West.
Thank you, On.
I could not imagine this would happen. I have much confidence in Lo Patien Bong. Hun Sen is not the problem. The Vietnamese communists and the Chinese communists are the problem. We all know it was just the personal vendetta. Hun Sen's would be out of power a long time ago. However, what we have is much deeper than the political analysis are analyzing.
Thank you, lady. We have come to an hour show again. Thank you so much for sharing your thought, ladies. Before we end, can you please share your closing comment? Begin with Khmoy Tevy first. Khmoy Tevy.
Thank you, Namin. Yes, as always, it is a great pleasure to be part of SCKHK, Khmer Ladies Viewpoint, especially able to talk with all Namins on this important topic this morning, Namin.
Thank you, Khmoy Tevy. Oh, and Chhyna.
Well, Bong Kalyan, Bong Chhovy, it has been 52 years since 1970. Our people experienced so much pain that needs to end now. We are almost annihilated. Don't we all think it's enough that we must claim our rights and restore our nation as we used to be many hundred years ago? My fellow Gold Khmer citizen around the world, now it is the only opportunity we have. You saw what is happening to Ukraine. Do we want this on our land? Absolutely not. Let's join our one and only truthful person that has the ability to bring peace and prosperity to our Nakol Khmer Minche. And that person is His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam.
Thank you, On Kalyan. On Chhyna. I'm sorry. On Kalyan.
Thank you, Bong, and thank
Call
you.
me again, huh?
I know. She has you on her mind all the time, Chhyna. Well, thank you to Khmoy Tevy for joining us tonight, and I would like to send this message to all our followers out there around the globe that we must take responsibility for our own mistakes. Our country is our responsibility. If we do not take opportunity to enrich ourselves with knowledge, do not blame others. No leader will make us learn or get rich. We must strive to learn and earn. Blaming others only make you weak. And I'm very sure that Lokpatian has done everything on his own. No one made him where he is at today, or responsible for his success. This is himself that made him the most successful and powerful person on this planet, Bong. Everything starts with us as the owner of our land of Savannapum, and will be the Nako Khmer Min Jay, Nako Khmer Min Jay. Don't blame others if you lose our land. And I would like to say thank you to Lokpatian for all his words of wisdom, courage, persistence, confidence, and success, which I am following one course until success and focus. That's what we, us ladies here, are what we are doing right now. Lokpatian, we are focusing. Now let's take our land back, our freedom back, and our sovereignty back. Thank you. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you, Owen Kalyan. You caught my attention. You just said like, don't blame anybody except yourself. I agree with that, Owen. Thank you so much. But before we close, I would like to thank you, Bong Maninu. That's an amazing video. Thank you so much. And of course, my two beautiful lady, and especially Tevy. Hope see you again, and good luck to you. Our show have come to an end now, and we will have more to share next show. We shall return soon again tonight. We want to reach out to all Khmer near or far that have been following us, supporting us every show, and we have been making lovely, you have been making a lovely comment. We are very proud of you all. Thank you so much for your support. Send our journey forward to liberate our country is near, very near. Your loyal support means so much to us. Our Lady Viewpoint group is working very hard to bring awareness to all Khmer worldwide to know the truth. We only share the truth, nothing else but the truth. May our Lord Buddha continue to bless Khmer, especially Lokpatian, for his love for our country. Again, thank you. On behalf of our Khmer Lady Viewpoint, we would like to thank you, His Excellency Professor Dr. Racy Dam and Nakmi Svanho, Lopu Soropik, all SCKHK members, and of course, finally all our supporters around the globe. As committee at the Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue will ensure that all the traitors will be brought to justice. If you want to be part of the history, please contact us, Khmer Lady Viewpoint team, become SCKHK member until we meet again next month. Please follow Khmer Politics and Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. Thank you and good night. យើងខ្ញុំទាំងអស់នេះសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណដល់អស់លោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តតែងតែតាមកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនៃឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិយើងនឹងវិលជួបអស់លោកសាជាថ្មីនៅវេលាក្រោយសូមអរគុណសាជាថ្មីសូមគោរពជំរាបលា យើងខ្មែរតែមួយកម្លាំងលើកស្ទួយជួយជាតិកុំការខ្មែរក្រៅខ្មែរក្នុងក្រុងស្រែ
Nam